Hi, good morning, everybody. It is September 23rd, 2022, and it is not every day that you hear about Canada getting a hurricane, let alone its largest possible landfall the coastlines of Canada have ever seen. Now, keep in mind, it's been almost 5 days since Fiona made its landfall down here in Puerto Rico, as you can see here in this September 18th post from World News Tonight, and the damage was quite literally catastrophic. It fell pretty much on the anniversary of another major hurricane we've talked about here on the channel. And before we get to the models, I want to show you this article right here. Fearsome Hurricane Fiona could be Canada's strongest ever storm. Now, the reason they're saying storm and not hurricane is because there's something that's going to happen with Fiona right before it makes landfall. I'm sure many of you remember Hurricane Sandy or Superstorm Sandy. Well, there's a reason it was named a superstorm rather than a hurricane, and that's because of its interaction it had right before landfall with the jet stream and the high pressure bubble of the Atlantic Ocean. We talk about that a lot here on the channel during hurricane season. But take a look at this paragraph right here. This could be Canada's version of Hurricane Sandy. The size and intensity of Fiona and its combination of hurricane and winter storm characteristics. Hurricane Sandy affected 24 states and all of the eastern seaboard, causing an estimated $78.7 billion in damage. So we're going to jump right to the GFS right now. And now think about this for a second. So we have Puerto Rico down here, and then we have Fiona here. And it's taken 5 days from that landfall in Puerto Rico for Fiona to get from this area of the world to this area of the world. And now think about this. Fiona's going to cover that same amount of distance that it took 5 days to cover at one point, and do the same thing in 24 hours and make it all the way to Nova Scotia, Canada. Now, why is that? That's for a few reasons. So we're going to move forward a little bit here, and right off the bat, you can see this high pressure bubble in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean is kind of digging underneath Fiona right here at this line. Kind of think of this as like a lifting mechanism. This is going to kind of get under Fiona and kind of push it up to the north, but at the same time, we have the jet stream, which is also dipping down, and on the western end of the storm, it's also pushing it north. So this storm is going to cover the same amount of distance it took in 5 days in just 24 hours. Take a look at that. By September 24th, that's tomorrow, Hurricane/Superstorm Fiona is going to be just off the coast of Nova Scotia. That may happen a little sooner, it may happen a little later, but we're talking just a few hours here, so it really doesn't matter as far as people trying to evacuate or choosing to stay put. But one thing I want you to notice is the barometric pressure for this storm, 930. And again, although this isn't going to be one of those tight packed hurricanes that's going to destroy everything in its path, whatever it touches, it's going to be more of a broad type superstorm that more resembles a winter storm, the bombogenesis term we talked about. And again, that is because of the cool waters it's going to be hitting as it moves north towards Nova Scotia. It's a much different situation going on in these Atlantic waters up here than it is with the Atlantic waters going on down here. Much different temperatures going on. That is why you could see on Friday the 23rd, which is today, Fiona looks like a tight packed hurricane, and then just 24 hours from now, boom, it looks like a giant monster hurricane, but in all reality, it's more than likely going to be named a superstorm at landfall. That does not change the fact that we are looking at nearly 100-mile-per-hour winds. In some places, they're probably going to be even higher. We're talking 120, possibly 125 when Fiona makes landfall with Nova Scotia. And again, the timing of Fiona and its landfall is very hard to predict because, as you can see, it is moving in a northeastern direction. It kind of looks like it's going diagonal straight up the Atlantic Ocean that way, but it's going to be hooked into Nova Scotia at the last moment. That is due again to the Bermuda Atlantic bubble and a mix of the jet stream at the same time. It's almost going to hook into Nova Scotia just like Hurricane Sandy/Superstorm Sandy hooked right into New Jersey years ago. Now, I don't expect the spaghetti plots to change too much, but I want to highlight the fact that we see Fiona moving in that northeast direction, and then we see that hook into Nova Scotia. So that is more than likely going to happen. We have pretty much every single model saying so. And what you're going to see after that landfall is a huge expansion of the storm, which is going to dissipate over time, because once you get into this area of the world, it's very, very rare to see any type of cyclone or anything like that. You see much bigger weather patterns because of the cooler temperatures. Hurricanes don't survive in temperatures like that. But very quickly, before I let you go, again, recognize that number, 930. That is 930 millibars. Now, if we go to the Saffir-Simpson scale, which is how we measure storms, it's measured by pressure, wind speed, all sorts of things. We would have to go all the way down to a category 4 to see that 930 millibars in pressure, which means we could be approaching 130 mile per hour winds on the coast of Nova Scotia. Where exactly, we don't know, but we do know it's very possible. I will be traveling today, but I'm going to be bringing you updates on this storm within the next 24 hours about what the effects may be on Nova Scotia. Expect some serious weather to happen. This is not going to be anything to take lightly. It very well may be the largest landfall Canada's coastlines have ever seen, just like that article I showed you. All right, my friends, I appreciate each and every one of you. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. Questions or concerns, please leave down below, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all and you will get all notifications from this channel. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.